you've scrolled past them online. Maybe you've argued with one at Thanksgiving dinner. Flat earthers. Easy to laugh at. Until you ask yourself, what if they were right? Not as a conspiracy, not as a belief, but as a pure thought experiment. What would actually happen if the Earth were flat? Would we survive? Would gravity still work? Would day and night even exist? The answer is far stranger, and far more terrifying than you think. This is What If, and here's what life on a flat Earth would actually look like. First question, could gravity even exist on a flat planet? Surprisingly, yes. Gravity is just mass attracting mass. A flat Earth would still have plenty of mass. But the direction it pulls, that's where things get deeply weird. On a flat disk, gravity would drag everything toward the center. The geographic middle of the Earth, somewhere around the North Pole Mwal in most flat Earth maps. And the further you walked from that center, the stronger the pull dragging you back would feel. Imagine trying to walk to the edge of the disk. Every step away from center, it feels more and more like you're hiking uphill. By the time you're anywhere near the edge, you'd feel like you were scaling a cliff face, leaning so far back that down and behind you would be basically the same direction. Trees near the edges wouldn't grow straight up. They'd grow diagonally, tilting inward toward the center of the disk, following gravity's pull. Rivers wouldn't flow to the ocean. They'd spiral inward. Everything would drain toward the center, even the oceans. Now, let's talk about the sun. In the most popular flat Earth theory, the sun doesn't stay still. It orbits the flat disk like a spotlight moving in circles above the surface. Think of it like a ceiling fan, sweeping slowly overhead, illuminating different parts of the disk as it goes. In this model, you'd never get true darkness. The sun would always be lighting up some part of the disk from above, and its light would scatter across the whole flat surface. Night as we know it? Basically gone. You might get dim periods. A kind of perpetual gloomy afternoon, but real dark nights? Forget it. No night means no day-night cycle means no time zones. Flying from New York to Los Angeles? Same time. Flying from LA to Tokyo? Same time. Jet lag would literally be impossible because there'd be no time zones to cross. But here's the deadly part. On our spherical Earth, our magnetic field, generated deep in our molten iron core, acts like a force field. It deflects the sun's radiation, solar winds, cosmic rays, the stuff that would strip our atmosphere bare and cook us alive. On a flat Earth, the physics that generate that magnetic field wouldn't work the same way. No magnetic field means no protective bubble. The sun's radiation would slam into Earth's surface unfiltered. The atmosphere would slowly bleed away into space. The oceans would evaporate. The oxygen would vanish. The flat Earth would be Mars. A dead, irradiated rock. Okay, assume we've hand-waved the magnetic field problem. What else changes? Seasons. Gone. Our seasons exist because Earth's axis is tilted as it orbits the sun, giving the northern hemisphere more sunlight in summer, less in winter. On a flat disk with the sun circling overhead, no tilt, no orbit, no seasons. It'd be the same temperature year-round in every location. No winter in Chicago. No summer in Miami. Just one eternal, unchanging climate zone wherever you happen to live. Solar eclipses. Also gone. Eclipses happen because the moon passes directly between Earth and the sun. Geometry only possible because of how our spherical planet, moon, and sun align in three-dimensional space. On a flat Earth, the moon's orbital path would never line up the same way. Total solar eclipses would be a thing of the past. And here's a subtle one that would give everything away. Your shadow. On our curved Earth, The sun hits different locations at different angles. That's why a stick in Alaska casts a longer shadow than the same stick in Florida at the same time of day. It's the exact experiment the ancient Greek mathematician Eratosthenes used to calculate Earth's circumference over 2,000 years ago. On a flat Earth, the sun's rays would hit every point on the surface at the same angle. Your shadow in Miami would be identical to your friend's shadow in Seattle. Always. That single detail alone would make any curious scientist question everything. Let's talk about how flat Earth geography would wreck modern life. GPS satellites orbit Earth in carefully calculated paths that only work because Earth is a sphere. On a flat disk, there's no stable orbit possible. Satellites would either fly off into space or crash. No satellites means no GPS, no Google Maps, no Uber, no Amazon delivery routes, no air traffic control, no synchronized clocks across the internet. And without synchronized clocks, no global banking, no ATMs, no credit card transactions. The entire digital financial system depends on millisecond precise time synchronization between servers around the world powered by GPS. Gone. Travel would be unrecognizable too. The Flat Earth Society uses a map that places the Arctic at the center and Antarctica as an ice wall ringing the entire disk's edge. On that map, flying from Sydney, Australia to Buenos Aires, Argentina, a route that takes about 14 hours on our spherical Earth, would take over 32 hours because the two cities would be on nearly opposite ends of the disk. On the bright side, and this is genuinely wild, with no atmospheric curvature blocking your line of sight, on a clear day you could theoretically see the Burj Khalifa in Dubai from anywhere on the planet with a good enough telescope. So, could you survive on a flat Earth? Technically, if you built in enough impossible assumptions, maybe, but the world you'd be surviving in? No seasons, no real night, no GPS, no magnetic field, rivers flowing in spirals, trees growing sideways, flights to South America taking 2 days. It wouldn't just be different, it would be almost unrecognizable as Earth. And here's the thing, you don't need to build your own rocket to know the Earth isn't flat. The evidence is hiding in plain sight. It's in the way ships disappear, hull first over the horizon. It's in the circular shadow Earth casts on the moon during a lunar eclipse. It's in the fact that every single GPS signal you've ever used works, and it only works because the math assumes a sphere. The flat Earth is a fascinating thought experiment, but the moment you pull on any thread, gravity, seasons, navigation, sunlight, the whole thing unravels. What if the Earth were twice its actual size? What if we lost the moon overnight? What if a second sun suddenly appeared in our solar system? Subscribe, because we're just getting started.